So the question on everybody's mind this weekend is, can Marvel do comedy? Moreover, can they mix comedy with their action and keep the magic going? The short answer is yes. Incidentally, so is the wrong answer. So, this week we have Guardians of the Galaxy. This is Marvel's sci fi superhero ish team of a bunch of weird, much more obscure characters that takes place within the main Marvel universe. Think Avengers, Iron Man, all of that stuff. But it takes place out in space and it involves a lot of Marvel's extraterrestrial empires. We don't have the Shi'ar because they're mostly X-Men, but we have the Kree, we have the Nova Corps, and we don't have the Skrulls yet, but that may be because they're saving them for the Fantastic Four. We'll see. So, we begin with Chris Pratt, who plays Star Lord. Star Lord is a human who was kidnapped when he was a young boy and grew up out in space and became a sort of a Han Solo ish, somewhat Captain Kirk ish, womanizing scamp of a rogue. Chris Pratt is really, really good in the part. He's very funny. The movie is very funny, and he does manage to be somewhat badass in the course of the film. You also have Zoe Saldana as I believe her name is Gamora. She's a daughter of Thanos and a green-skinned assassin. She's also good. I'm not sure she's quite as good as she is in Star Trek Into Darkness, but she's fairly good. Her action scenes are pretty good. All of the action is pretty good too. You also have Bradley Cooper, who is almost unrecognizable as Rocket Raccoon. Now, when I say unrecognizable, I don't mean because he's playing a raccoon. I mean his voice acting. You would not know that this is Bradley Cooper just by listening to his voice. He's completely transformed. Um, he's funny, much funnier than I thought he was going to be, much better than I thought he was going to be. I like Rocket in this movie. Um, and you also have Vin Diesel as Groot. Vin Diesel is Groot. Um, he's funny. He doesn't have a lot to say in the movie, but he's got a lot to do, and he's good in the movie. Um, and then you have Dave Batista as whatever the guy's name is, Drax the Destroyer. He's acting wise the weak point in the movie. It's pretty clear that he's got the least acting ability in the film. However, his character has some of the funniest lines, and he's pretty good in all of the action sequences. Uh, he doesn't bring the film down, but it's noticeable that he's got the least acting chops of anybody here. For a villain, I'm sorry if I don't know the guy's name. I don't know the actor's name. He does a pretty good job as the villain. He's a little comic book ish, but it doesn't seem that outlandish given what the rest of the film looks like. He's really cool. I like him, and of course you've got Thanos is in the film for a bit, and he's good. I like him. Thanos is a badass. He's scary, even though he doesn't do much. Um, the upside of the film. The upside of the film is that the action works very well. The action is really good. The special effects are great. Um, the comedy is the best part of the film. This is a really, really, really good comedy. As a comedy, I give it a full 5 stars. It's really funny. It is laugh out loud funny, and I wasn't the only one who thought so. I've actually seen the film twice, and both times the audience was really into the comedy. Um, the downside of the film, and it's a small one. The film uses the concept of the MacGuffin and it uses it very seriously. The MacGuffin, for those of you who don't know, is an Alfred Hitchcock concept of there being an object that the good guys want and the bad guys want, and the audience doesn't care. And this is a film that sort of relies on the idea that you won't care specifically what everyone is after. Um, and it also kind of assumes that you know quite a bit about Marvel's universe in space, and it doesn't stop to explain a whole lot to you. So people who aren't deep into Marvel lore will actually be really, really lost, and people who are will find tons and tons of Easter eggs. Um, All in all, I gotta give this movie. I was gonna give it 4 stars, but it's actually 4.5 stars. It's almost a full 5 star movie. If it were only trying to be funny, it would be 4.5 stars, but it's trying to be a good action movie as well. So that kind of drops it down because it doesn't succeed quite as well there. So Guardians of the Galaxy, 4.5 stars. So, my question this week is going to be simple, and it's really meant for people who've already seen Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's this: I know a lot of people were nervous about Ant Man being more comedy than action movie, but now that you've seen what Marvel has done with a comedy, have your expectations for Ant Man gone up or not? My answer is a hesitant yes, because I know they're having problems with directors and scripts and people leaving. But at least I know that if they do everything else right, they can, they can make a good action comedy. But what do you think?